honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, in the spirit of nonpartisanship, we have put forward a motion inspired by the Leader of the NDP.
That's right.
He has said that this Prime Minister is weak, is greedy, is selfish, and is beholden to corporate interests. He has pointed out that this Prime Minister has violated the rights of workers. So we took the NDP leader's words, we put it in a motion that includes non-confidence. Will the Prime Minister allow this NDP leader a free vote so that he can vote non-confidence for Canadians?
For the third time this fall, the Liberal government has staved off a potential election, surviving the latest non-confidence motion in the House of Commons.
We have put forward a motion inspired by the Leader of the NDP.
Pierre Poilievre doing that not just to try and force an election, but to put Jagmeet Singh in a political bind, structuring his latest Opposition Day motion around quotes like this.
The fact is, the Liberals are too weak, too selfish, and too beholden to corporate interests to fight for people.
The NDP leader said that when he ripped up the supply and confidence agreement he had with the Liberals, and has continued to publicly be critical of the Prime Minister.
Mr. Julian.
Miss Matheson.
But the New Democrats voted with the government, enough to keep the Prime Minister in power.
It should come as no surprise that we're not going to vote in favor of any of their games, because that's what they're doing. They're playing games.
Monsieur Désilet.
For the first time this fall, the Bloc Québécois voted non-confidence in the Liberals, likely leaving the NDP as the only party Justin Trudeau can work with to pass any legislation.
All those in favour of the motion will please rise.
Mr. Singh.
Mr. Singh.
Mr. Julian.
And the NDP outlined some of their demands in their own Opposition Day motion. Jagmeet Singh calling on more people to get the $250 checks the Liberals have promised, and permanently remove the GST from essentials like home heating.
Jagmeet Singh has demonstrated that his words mean absolutely nothing. I'm standing outside of the House of Commons chamber where moments ago the House of Commons voted on a Conservative motion of non-confidence in Justin Trudeau's costly and corrupt government. The text of the motion was made up entirely of Singh's own words, including that the Liberals are too weak, too selfish, and too beholden to corporate interests to fight for Canadians. Conservatives agree, but apparently Jagmeet Singh doesn't agree with himself, because moments ago, Singh and the NDP sold out yet again to Justin Trudeau. They voted to come to the rescue and prop up Justin Trudeau's government. And in so doing, Jagmeet Singh sold out workers, sold out Canadians, and sold out his purported principles. Why? Because Jagmeet Singh wants his $2.2 million pension, but he doesn't qualify until next year. So Jagmeet Singh and the NDP have come up with new terms to the NDP Liberal Coalition Agreement. And they are that Singh gets his pension, Trudeau gets his power, and Canadians get the bill. Jagmeet Singh, total sell.
Today, the NDP leader has a chance to prove that he didn't sell out Canadian workers for his own pension. Now, he famously promised Canadians that he ripped up his coalition with the Liberals, saying they, quote, were too weak, too selfish, and too beholden to corporate interests to fight for people. Now, Conservatives agree, and Canadians want a carbon tax election. So, will the Prime Minister allow the NDP leader to vote for his own words, or did the PM whip the NDP vote to block a carbon tax election?
Saying that you weren't in the chamber during the recorded vote for their non-confidence motion that quotes you quite extensively. Was there a reason you weren't in the chamber for that particular vote?
I had a meeting and I voted outside of the chambers.
No one believes you anymore.
And I came in for the vote on our motion. Listen, the Conservatives, it should come as no surprise that we're not going to vote in favor of any of their games, because that's what they're doing. They're playing games.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
What they want to do is cut your pensions. They want to cut your health care. I want to strengthen pensions. I want to make it easier for you to find a doctor. They want to cut the things that you need and make your life even harder and make it cost more.
That's not true.
That is what Conservatives do. That is what they did when they were in power. We're opposed to that. So obviously we're not going to play their games. I'm not going to support a Conservative motion that plays games like that. We're going to keep on fighting for Canadians.
No one believes you.
The honourable member for Barrie Innisfil.
The NDP leader continues to hold the country hostage, playing political hokey-pokey to secure his pension by February. First, he put himself in a coalition agreement with the Liberals. Then he took himself out, ripping up the agreement while shaking his fist all about. Now he's put himself back in, taping the agreement together, turning himself around after saying he would vote no confidence. So what deal did the Prime Minister make with the leader of the NDP to secure his vote of confidence, and how much will it cost Canadians?
Well, 2 wins for the Liberals today. Justin Trudeau faced his 3rd non-confidence vote in the House and survived, as expected. And the NDP motion to expand the GST rebate and the $250 benefit checks was also defeated. Let's bring in CTV's Rachel Aiello. Okay, Rachel, 2 motions defeated in one day. So let's start with the motion by the Conservatives. And of course, the party has done this before, twice, but got a bit more creative this time. Tell us more.
Yeah, Sandy. So for the 3rd time, the Conservatives' attempts to bring down the Liberal government failed. This time, they tried to use the NDP leader's words against him in a way to try to convince him to vote for this motion. But that effort was not successful. Only the Bloc backed it. We saw the NDP vote against this motion, helping prop up the Liberal government yet again. And at this point, Sandy, they are the only opposition party in the House of Commons to still be backing the Liberals.
Okay. Question number 2, implications of the defeated NDP GST motion. Will the party try again, or is that it?
Yeah, so the NDP were pushing for the GST break to be expanded and the eligibility for the checks to be expanded as well. But it was resoundingly rejected. Pretty much everyone else in the House of Commons, other than the NDP, voted against it. So I think that is a clear sign to businesses getting this GST thing rolling and to Canadians waiting for those checks. If they're expecting more, don't expect that under the current political dynamics. And to your question, Sandy, of whether they can do this again, not this year. This was the only NDP opposition motion of the fall sitting, meaning that if they want to try again or push the government in another way, it will have to be in 2025.